He thinks it's as easy as that.
I never knew that.
Nobody wants to know.
I bring you news from Garand. Here, he gave me this message for you.
Our situation is worse than I had feared, but report to me on the situation in the Valley of Mines.
The paladins are holed up in the castle in the Valley of Mines, surrounded by orcs. There were many casualties in the prospecting operations, and there's barely any ore left. Well, I should say that without any help, the lads are lost. That's how it looks.
I shall find a way to rescue this expedition. You have done much for us. Inos will thank you.
I'm not all that interested in his gratitude. I want his eye.
Yes, of course, I stand by my word. Take this letter. It will open the monastery gates to you. Speak with Pyrokar, the highest fire magician, and show him this authorization. He will grant you access to the Eye of Inos. One more thing before you go. Take this rune as a token of my gratitude. It will take you safely back to the city whenever you want.
How's the situation?
I must find a way to rescue this expedition. We must do something against the dragons. Perhaps the Eye of Inos can save us all now.
And there's more, believe me.
Inos enlightens all those who recognize his wisdom.
That will never change.
It had to happen sooner or later. Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
Show me your wares.
All that Inos created was destroyed by Khorinis. But Adonos saw that this way, nothing could exist at all. No light.
That's been known a long time.
You can't rely on that.
That's not what I heard.
That was quite obvious. You hardly know who to believe these days.
Good thing you're here.
Never asked for
You need to help me.
I agree with you completely.
What are you doing here?
I've been observing the guards. They're constantly on their toes. I don't think it will be easy for me to get through there.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
What kind of clothes are these?
No.
I bought them from a trader outside of town. The guards wouldn't let me in at first. Also, there's no need to let the whole world know where I come from.
You've got a point there.
That's the way I see it. But even though I've dumped my shadow garb, I'm still who I always was. And I have big plans for this city.
What is this about?
A lot of things have changed since I left here. I have to get back on my feet somehow.
What's the problem?
I have to get into the upper quarter. But I'm not a citizen of the town, and I don't have enough money to bribe the guards. That's where you come in.
So you want me to lend you some gold?
Nonsense. I've got some gold. A whole lot of gold, even. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me. You need to go fetch my gold for me.
And he works all day, too.
Okay, I'll help you.
Well, listen. Back when the barrier was still in place, I hid a small treasure. It's been quite a while. That's why I forgot to take it with me. And I can't leave here at all at the moment. To cut a long story short, you must go to the Valley of Mines for me and fetch my gold.
Really? How interesting.
Where's the gold hidden?
Directly at the trading square, above the abandoned mine. It's in a leather satchel. Spare yourself that comment. I know myself that we must have walked right past it. Just bring me the bag.
Even worse.
But don't forget to check that it's the right one, so you don't walk all that way for nothing.
How can I recognize it?
It's full of gold. A whole lot of gold.
I'm not touching that.
Where did you get all that
Don't tell this
gold?
to anyone.
Am I the only one, then, who put some gold aside for himself in the Valley of Mines? Filching a few nuggets was a piece of cake, just in case we ever got out of there. Everybody was so keen on that ore that no one even cared for gold at the time.
What are you planning to do with the gold?
I still have an account to settle with one of the merchants in the upper quarter. I need to take care of that, and then I'll be all set for a new career.
And it's gonna get even worse.
I'll try to find your gold.
Just do it. That's enough for me.
That's not what my
Can you
husband
teach me something?
I have to attend to my business first.
I can't believe that. Bad business.
I found your gold.
Great.
It's gonna get even
Show me.
worse.
Very good. Gerbrandt had better watch out now. Listen, I still need to take care of the guards. I want you to take this letter to Gerbrandt. He is one of the fat merchants in the upper quarter. Give him my regards. I'll meet you in front of Gerbrandt's house then.
I already thought as much.
That's what I've always said.
Where did you pick that up then?
Now that's typical, isn't it?
I don't know why you get so worked up.
These are bad times.
It can't go on like this forever.
But that's terrible.
So why won't they listen to me?
I won't tell her a thing from now
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
on. That's terrible.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
Who says things like that?
I'm not touching that.
That's not what I heard.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
You can't keep anything to yourself.
Diego says hello,
What? Who? What Diego?
and he wants me to give you this letter.
That can't be. No. I'm a goner. Is he in town then?
Who?
Diego, of course.
Yes, I'm gonna meet him here shortly.
Oh, this is the end then. All is lost. I've got no time. I need to get out of here. Quick. If he finds me here, I'm done for.
We can only wait and see.
Wait a minute. I delivered the letter.
Very good. How did Gerbrandt take it?
He was rather shocked and made himself scarce right away.
I should think so. I'm afraid that, first of all, I need to attend to furnishing my new house. If I remember correctly, Gerbrandt's taste is horrible.
I don't know why you get so worked up.
It's a bad business.
So how did you pull this off?
Did you think that Gerbrandt came by his fortune through honest business? Of course, he never got his fingers dirty when it came to really shady deals. He had a helper for that. Of course, I caught on to a lot back then.
Do you really believe
Gerbrandt
that?
finally got rid of me. He was probably afraid that I knew too much.
You never told me about that.
You never
It
asked
was
me.
obvious all along.
What about Gerbrandt?
He has enjoyed the good life for far too long. He was living here in the lap of luxury while I was forcing down meat bug stew. I have no idea where he went from here, but he'll never get a foothold in Khorinis again. I'll see to that. If you're looking for him, you should try the Harbor District.
What about my share?
Looks like you haven't forgotten everything I've taught you after all. But you're right. I couldn't have done it without you.
What I heard.
Here's your share.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
Can you teach me something?
Yeah, sure.
bad business.
Just let me know when you're ready.
I knew that would be a problem.
That's really not my problem.
Don't say it.
Where have you been gadding about for so long? I need more skins. Did you bring any?
I've got a few skins for you.
A sheepskin. You didn't go slaughter some farmer's sheep in the pasture, did you?
I wouldn't dream of doing that.
Wolf skin, that's good. A warg skin? Those beasts are tough. Ah, even a shadow beast skin. Those are worth a lot. What the hell is this skin?
I ripped a troll off for that one.
That is worth a small fortune. Good work. Come see me again when you have more.
Show me your...
I can't believe that.
Hey, you!
Thanks for saving me.
Of his power in his realm so that he might restore it to the human if the beast should return.
Have you got a better weapon for me?
Good thing you asked. We got a few pretty good blades from Onar's mercenaries. They had no further use for them. Here, take it.
Hey! Hey! I want to get stronger. How come you're in the slammer?
Those swine have thrown me in the hole. I'm supposed to have murdered a paladin, but I didn't do it. They're only trying to frame me.
Why would they do that?
How would I know? You've got to get me out of here. Talk to Lord Hagen. Tear down the wall. Who cares? Just do something.
What happened?
I went downtown with Hodges to buy some supplies for our boys. Suddenly, we heard a loud scream and the sound of running feet.
Get to the point.
We knew at once that something had happened and that they would grab us at once if they saw us there. We ran like hell, then just before we got to the city gate, I tripped and sprained my ankle. The rest is soon told. The militia was on me at once and they threw me straight into this hole.
Who was murdered?
I have no idea. One of the paladins. I don't know them.
Have you got a name?
Some Lothar, I think. Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure. You had better ask Lord Hagen. He knows all the details.
Do they have any evidence against you?
They say they have a witness who recognized me.
Well, do you know who the witness is?
No, all I know is that he's lying.
Who's leading the investigation?
Lord Hagen himself. Since the victim was one of the paladins, this falls under martial law.
What does that mean?
That's easy to guess. If I don't get out of here, they're going to let me swing without further ado. You've got to help me or there'll be a war. Lee's not going to take this lying down. You can figure out for yourself what that means.
Hey! Hey! Show me your wares. What recipes can you teach me?
I know a few. Make your own choice. The Elixir of Strength, an excellent potion. You need the rare dragon root and king's sorrel. When boiling the brew, don't let the bubbles get too big, or you'll be in for a nasty surprise.
And the sea released the land, and there arose all creatures.
For the king.
It's not what I heard.
I need to talk to you about Bennett.
But that's the mercenary who murdered one of my men.
I believe that Bennett is innocent.
The evidence is clear. He is guilty.
So what if the proof is wrong?
Be careful what you say. You raise some serious accusations. If you cannot present me with evidence that the witness lied, then you had best hold your tongue.
How come you're so sure that Bennett is the killer?
We have a witness. As you can see, there is no doubt about the mercenary's guilt.
Who is that witness?
Cornelius, the governor's secretary, saw the murder. His description fits Bennett, no doubt about that. As far as I am concerned, that settles the matter. The mercenary will hang for treason.
Hey, you!
What's your business here? If you want something, make an appointment.
Who are you?
I am Larius, the local governor. Even if it may not seem so at the moment, I am the most powerful man in this city.
So you're in charge here?
At the moment, my hands are tied. That Lord Hagen is in command here, for as long as he's in the city at any rate.
How's it going?
What business is it of yours? As long as the paladins are in the city, Lord Hagen takes care of all the affairs that concern the city.
How's it going?
What business is...
I didn't mean to intrude.
You have failed utterly at that, so go away.
You saw the murder of Lothar, didn't you?
I need not answer any questions about a current investigation. Lord Hagen already has everything I know on record.
What was it you saw?
Really, I haven't got any time now. You need to go now. The office is closing.
Enough of that. What did you see?
I saw how the mercenary struck down the paladin from behind, and then he took his sword and rammed it through his chest.
Are you completely sure?
Yes, of course. I saw it with my own eyes. But I really haven't got any time now. There's a huge pile of paperwork I need to do.
I don't believe you.
So what? What are you going to do about it?
Perjury will land you in the slammer for a long time.
You're trying to threaten me? A little guardsman is threatening me, the secretary to the governor? If you don't get lost right now, I'll see to it that you are demoted.
I don't... So... What is it you want?
You don't even have enough gold to pay me.
How much?
2,000 gold pieces. Well, that could make me rethink the matter.
I don't... You hold your life dear, don't you?
If you attack me, they'll hang you. I have powerful friends. So don't you dare lay a finger on me. Now, get out of here, or I'll call the guards.
Here's the gold.
It's better if I don't ask where you got that. To be honest, I don't really care, but we're in business.
So what really happened?
I didn't see what happened. I received some gold for blaming that mercenary. In times like these, it's everyone for himself. I needed that money.
Who paid you?
That's enough. He'll kill me if I rat him out.
Are you gonna tell that to Lord Hagen too?
I'm not a lunatic. I can't stay in town now. I'll give you my diary. That should be proof enough.
Cornelius lied.
How did you know that?
Here, I've got his diary. Everything's in there.
That slimy little criminal! In view of the new evidence, there is nothing else I can do. By virtue of the office granted me by king and church, I declare that the prisoner Bennett is exonerated of all charges and is thereby a free man. Cornelius is to be taken into immediate custody for perjury.
He's made himself scarce.
Sooner or later he will turn up, then we shall arrest him. Your deeds would give honor to one of our own.
I want to take up service with the Order.
Good. You have proven that you have the courage, the skill, and the devotion to serve Enos. Your deeds bear witness to a pure heart. If it is your wish, then I shall bid you welcome to our order.
I'm ready.
Then so shall it be. Many men have taken this path and given their lives in the name of Enos. Do you swear that your deeds will honor their deaths and proclaim the fame of Enos?
I swear.
Then from now on, you are a member of our fellowship. I hereby appoint you a warrior of Enos. I give to you the weapons and armor of a knight. Bear them with pride, knight. Henceforth, by virtue of your rank, you shall have access to the monastery. Albrecht will teach you our magic. Just go and talk to him. And of course, our quarters in the upper end of the city are now open to you.
The situation in the Valley of Mines is quite worrying, but we shall develop plans to get rid of the dangers and get our boys out of there along with the ore.
Can you teach me?
I can teach you how to fortify your arms in order to wield your weapons more effectively.
Can you teach me something?
If you prove yourself worthy, I shall bestow the magic runes of the paladins upon you. Beyond that, I can teach you to increase your magic power.
Hey! How's your farm?
I can't stand it anymore. All of a sudden, these fellows in black hoods showed up and posted themselves on the road and on my farm. Short time later, my wife took deathly ill again. She spends most of the time just lying in bed. And that happens to her frequently. I'm falling apart here.
Have you talked to the men in black?
Sure. There was no way to prevent it. I think they're looking for someone.
Why don't you do anything about those black robes?
Well, I'd surely love to, but I saw how they burned one of the townspeople alive. Just like that. Why should I risk my life?
Why don't you take your wife to the healer?
We ought to go to the city to see Vatras about it. But I won't budge an inch from my farm as long as things are so chaotic here.
Got my own opinion about that.
I'm not telling you anything new.
I've got my own opinion about that.
I never knew that.
And Adanos was pleased.
Lobart's wife Hilda is sick.
What? Again? The good woman should take better care of herself. One hard winter and she won't be with us anymore. All right. I will give her a medicine to reduce the fever. Oh, and while you're at it, you might as well drop it off with her.
I've got this feeling of trepidation.
You don't look well either. You were subjected to the black look of the Seekers for too long. All I can heal is your body, but only the monastery can purify your soul. Speak to Pyrakar. He will help you.
Can you heal me?
Adanos, bless this body. Free it of its wounds and strengthen it with new life.
I was at your hut in the Valley of Mines.
So it's still standing. Did you find it?
If you mean your pouch with the lumps of ore. Yes,
so
I have it.
Was the
You're a
wrath
fox.
Of
You know that.
He came
Do you have it
across
with
the
you?
Land and
I'll give you
chose
100
the
gold
beast.
coins for it.
And Beliar spoke to it.
Sure.
And the
Terrific.
beast became his subject.
Why did you leave it there in the
Beliar
first place?
gave unto
I had
it
no
a
idea
portion of
that
his
ore was so
divine
valuable here in
power,
Khorinis.
so that it
For
might
one measly piece of
destroy the
ore,
land.
you couldn't get so much as a place to sleep back in the penal colony, in the harbor city.
But
They'll
Enos
practically
beheld
bash your
what
skull
Beliar
in
had
if
done,
they find out you have
and he
ore on
also
you.
bestrode the land and
I hope that I'll get it
chose
back
the
soon.
human. and Enos spoke
Give me
to
100
him,
gold
and
coins,
the human
and I'll give you
became
your ore
his
back.
subject.
Deal. Here you
And
go.
Enos gave
You're a real
unto him
friend.
a
Thanks a
portion
lot.
of his divine power, so that he might undo the work of Beliar. And Beliar spoke to another creature.
Hey, you! Are you still working for the Paladins?
I finished the commission from Lord Hagen. Now I'm making magic ore blades for him. But for pay this time. But I also have the time again to make a few weapons on the side for the merchants in the marketplace. So, if you're looking for a good blade, you should try them.
Tell me more about magic ore blades.
Creating a magic blade is a very complicated and expensive process, but the result is a blade that's easy to handle and practically indestructible. The blade is certainly of good quality, but it will only show its true power in the hands of a paladin. A paladin sword is consecrated by Enos. As a result, the magic blade becomes an enchanted weapon that does incomparable damage.
I want to buy a magic ore blade.
You paladins can count yourselves lucky to be allowed to wield such excellent blades. By decree of Lord Hagen, I may only sell you a single magic weapon. So, what can I offer you?
I'll take the one-handed sword.
Take good care of your new weapon. It's worth a fortune.
That's been known a long time.
It can't go on like this forever.
Aren't you feeling well?
No, not at all. I've got this awful fever again. I should really go and see the town healer, but I'm too weak for that.
Can I help?
It would be wonderful if you could go to Vatras and get me my medicine. He'll know what is to be done. I can't do it anymore.
Hey! I've got your medicine.
Really, our society needs more people like you. Thank you so much. I hope that these few coins are enough.
Hey, you! Watch out for your farm.
I'll try.
Hey,
Any news?
You're responsible for the best news yourself. They've let Bennett go again. He's back at the farm. Go to him. I think he'd like to thank you himself.
He works all day, too.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
He doesn't see that. I can't help.
Show me your maps.
Good maps are important, especially for people who come from the mainland, Mr. Paladin.
I'd have gone about it differently.
It can't go on like this forever.
I knew this piece would interest you.
What piece would that be?
Well, that old map you just bought. I know your kind. You go for any chance of finding riches.
That's all just gossip.
Why don't you keep it for yourself?
I'm an old man, and the times when I set out myself are long past. I leave that to younger people.
I don't know who to believe these days.
What kind of a map is it?
It seems to be a treasure map or the like. But you look to me like one who'll get to the heart of this matter himself.
Where did you get this map?
Oh, I found that in a stack of old maps which I bought recently. The seller must have overlooked it.
Let's wait and see what happens.
Come back again later. I'm sure to have something new for you then.
Those are all just rumors.
That's all just gossip.
Anything's possible. That'll only cause more trouble.
Really? How interesting. Who says things like that? That's terrible. You don't say.
I've got a new tobacco.
Let me try your tobacco. This tastes incredible. I've never had a better smoke in my life. How did you prepare this blend?
I mixed the tobacco with honey.
You have done well, father of the art of blending. I would be delighted to fill my miserable pipes with this.
Fill her up then.
Thank you, son of generosity. No other blend could be as good as this one. I shall buy every bit you can bring me of this.
I've got some honey tobacco for you.
It is a great pleasure doing business with you.
Can you make me a prophecy?
Yes. Time has progressed, and I shall give you a prophecy in return for a few coins.
How much?
For a paltry 250 coins. I shall risk a glance through time for you.
Tell me about the future.
All right, son of knowledge. I shall now enter a state of trance. Are you ready? Shall force what is nobody's destiny but yours through fire and snow, through ice and flames, men in foreign armor, a swamp, lizards, they await you. That's all. There's nothing more I can see.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the following decree is hereby enacted.
How's it going?
You don't look like you care about other people's worries in the least.
Yeah, sure I do.
What do you know? The world is full of surprises. I cleared out some of my stuff recently and sold a stack of old maps to Brahim, the cartographer down by the harbor. Unfortunately, I noticed that I'm missing a document. I assume it must have slipped in among the papers. Could you perhaps get it back for me?
I'll see what I can do.
You're so sweet. I wish you much luck. If you bring back the paper to me, I'll give you a reward.
Did you mean this document?
Yes, that's exactly it. Thank you.
What's my reward?
Not so fast. Here's your money.
Hey, you! Show me your wares. Show me your wares.
It is an honor to me that a representative of our holy church should show an interest in my wares.
You're still here?
Obviously. Still miffed?
Never mind, forget about it. Say, have you been to Lobart's farm lately?
Maybe. Why?
Oh, nothing important. I just wanted to talk to Vino again about his still.
Still? What still?
Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Vino's always been very particular about his little secret. Whatever. Now I've let it slip out anyway. Back in the woods, Vino set up a secret still. A while ago, he asked me to get him something to grease his portcullis with. It's rained a lot recently and the thing rusted shut on him. Now the winch is stuck. No one can get in anymore. What a mess.
And? Have you got the grease?
Yeah, sure. The best there is. Mole rat fat. Terrible stuff, let me tell you. It's even used to grease ships' cannons.
Sell me the grease.
That won't be cheap, pal. It's damn rare in this part of the country.
How much?
100 gold coins.
That's too much.
Okay. 70 gold coins then. But that's my final offer.
That's still too much.
Then forget about it.
Have a nice day.
Did anything else happen?
My sheep keep disappearing. Soon I won't be able to feed us anymore.
Is there any other news?
Someone keeps stealing my sheep lately. I haven't been able to sleep properly for nights.
Who could have done that?
I've got a hunch about that. Some really nasty fellows have settled into the caves over in the forest. I find it hard to believe that they're living on berries. I'm almost certain that's where my sheep are disappearing to.
Hey, you bum. You haven't come about that sheep, have you?
You stole the sheep from Akil the farmer.
So what? What are you gonna do about it?
Give me that sheep or I'll punch you in the eye.
Then look out, boy. All hell's about to break loose.
Nothing to be had there. Come with me. I found the sheep rustlers. You were right. Those fellows in the forest cave did it. They'll never steal sheep from you again.
Thank you, noble servant of Innos. Take this as a small token of thanks for the selfless favor you did for me. Very good. Here's a few gold coins. I hope it's enough.
Hey, you. Hey, you. Ever been to the monastery?
Maybe. Why?
Are they still taking on people? I wouldn't know where else to turn.
Where do you come from?
I used to be captain of a big whaler, my boy. The sea is my home. My ship, the good old Magdalena, was sunk by pirates a few months ago, and now I'm stranded here. All I ever wanted was to go back to sea. Since I've come here, not one schooner is called at this accursed port. The only ship which is anchored in Khorinis is that blasted war galley of the king, and they don't take on anyone. So what else can I do? There's no work for me in town. I've tried everything.
You'd better get off the road.
Don't worry. I've already noticed that the wilderness out here has become damn dangerous in the last couple of days.
I can hardly believe it. Are you really a paladin now?
Obviously.
If someone like you is with the paladins, then Beliar's thugs had better watch out. If you did in the sleeper, that handful of orcs shouldn't be a problem.
This is not only about the orcs.
I know, but it's still good to have you on our side.
Oh well.
What are you doing here in the monastery? Let me guess. You want to be instructed in the art of magic.
Perhaps.
I knew it. Best to talk to Marduk. He's responsible for you paladins. You'll find him in front of the chapel.
I need to get into the monastery. It's urgent.
Yes, sure. Here's the key.
How did you get to the monastery so fast?
What kind of a question is that? I crept through the pass and made my way straight to the monastery. Admittedly, it was never easy avoiding all the monsters making themselves at home on this side of the valley, but ultimately I encountered fewer problems than I expected.
Do you know where the others are?
Gorn seems to have coped with his stay in Garan's dungeon very well. In any case, he wanted to go to Lee and see what was happening on the farm. After the grub they serve in the dungeon, he's probably stuffing his face right now and putting the mercenaries' provisions to a real test. Diego mumbled something about a reckoning. No idea what he meant by that, but I suspect he's in the city. You know him. Always there when there's something to be had.
Do you know anything about the hooded figures?
No, but I have a bad feeling about those guys. Be careful if you run into them.
Can't rely on that.
I see that you have decided to fight on our side.
Do you really
I am glad. We can use every man. You should go speak directly to Marduk. He is responsible for you paladins.
I always act in the name of Innos.
You don't have to tell me that.
Have you got anything else for me?
Yes. As a member of the library, you are given the key to the library. There you will find brothers Karis and Highgrass. If you like, you can speak with them there.
As if I don't have enough problems.
May Innos protect you.
Can't rely on that.
How are the sheep?
That's what I said.
How do you think they are? They stand around and munch grass. I'd rather know what's happening outside. The magicians seem to be very nervous.
That's no secret.
Strangers in black robes roam the countryside.
What do you mean? What sort of strangers?
Nobody knows where they've come from. They wear long black robes and they cover their faces. They seem to be some kind of magician. At least they're capable of magic.
That sounds very disturbing, but I'm sure that the High Council will solve this problem.
There are dragons in the Valley of Mines. They are besieging the royal troops together with the army of orcs.
Dragons? I always thought they only existed in horror stories.
They're there, believe me.
But the King's Paladins will deal with them, won't they?
We'll see.
No secret.
I always act in the name of Innos.
Hey, you!
What can I do for you?
Have you got anything interesting for me?
No.
You don't have to ask me that.
Welcome, my son. Since when are you one of the paladins?
Only for a short time.
Then I bid you welcome. In this battle, we need every man who has the courage to oppose evil. The fate of us all lies in the hands of men like you. May Innos ever give you the courage you need.
I always act in the name of Innos.
It was his decision, wasn't
Nobody ever asked.
Hey, you!
The honorable warriors of Innos rarely stray into these rooms. What can I do for you?
Show me your wares. What exactly is your job?
It is my responsibility to train mages in the art of spherical manifestation.
What does that mean?
Well, I teach them how to summon creatures or beings from other states or spheres. This is usually called summoning, although this expression alone is insufficient for the art of calling a servant. Furthermore, I own some interesting spell scrolls which Gorax does not have.
How are your studies coming along?
The enemy has many faces. Which of them presents the greatest danger for the monastery is awfully difficult to determine.
Hey! I am Master Highglass, Guardian of the Fire and Keeper of the Knowledge.
What are you studying, Master?
My research focuses on fire, the power of Innos. It is his gift and at the same time a mighty weapon, and I create runes which contain his power.
Any news?
Yes. Well, you've probably noticed those black-robed figures.
I've met them.
This brings us to the core of the matter. At the moment, we're observing a very rare constellation of stars. To be more exact, the sign of the ox currently stands in direct correlation with the sign of the warrior. I suppose you know what that means.
Well, to be honest...
Yes, I see. Well, I cannot explain the entire background to you now, but it definitely signifies a great change, and I do not like change. Therefore, I want you to get me a book from town. It's called The Divine Power of the Stars. You may have to rummage around for it a bit, but I'm sure you'll find it.
What's in it for me?
What do you mean?
I'd like to know what you'll give me if I bring you the book.
Nothing. What were you expecting to get? If you have time to run an errand in town for me, it's even your duty to help me.
I've got the book for you.
So you've changed your mind after all. Very good. So where do you have the book? You may withdraw now. I shall retire and study.
Found anything out yet?
Well, I cannot be completely sure, but the current constellation of the stars seem to indicate many dangers.
What kind of dangers?
Well, the structure between the worlds seems to be very weak. It only takes a small portion of the power that would be necessary otherwise to tear a hole in this structure. Demons could use those portals to enter our world without encountering resistance.
What's your job here?
I prepare the paladins for their fight against evil.
What is evil?
Evil is everywhere. It is the power of Beliar, the eternal adversary of Innos. It is the all-encompassing blackness which seems to blot out the light of Innos forever. Beliar is the lord of darkness, of hate, and of destruction. Only those among us in whose hearts burns the holy fire of Innos will bear the radiant light of Innos into the world and banish the darkness.
But there are only magicians and novices living in the monastery.
That is correct, in contrast to our community which honors the word of Innos. The paladins honor the great deeds of our Lord above all else. We are the representatives of Innos, but the paladins are his warriors, who go into battle in his name and increase his glory.
Is there anything you can teach me?
I am an expert in the magic of ice and the magic of thunder. I can teach you their power. However, I only instruct magicians.
Any news?
The enemy has apparently already entered the city.
What do you mean?
One of the paladins, Lothar, was murdered in the street. In broad daylight. It has gone too far, but I fear that is only the beginning.
Bennett is innocent. The witness lied.
How do you know that?
I have found proof.
Sometimes I think that treason and greed are our greatest enemies.
What's going to happen now?
A murder, moreover, of a paladin is without doubt one of the worst crimes there is. The murderer will undoubtedly be sentenced to death.
What can you teach me?
Naturally, I cannot teach you your combat skills. I can, however, bring the essence of Innos and his gifts closer to you. Besides, it is my task to prepare you for the consecration of the sword.
And the magic?
Here we teach only our magic. You must learn the magic of the paladins in the city.
Who told you that?
What's the consecration of the sword?
The consecration of the sword is one of the paladin's most sacred rituals. During this ceremony, the holy power of Innos flows through the blade of the paladin's sword and gives the sword undreamed of powers. A sword so consecrated is a paladin's most valuable possession and will accompany him his whole life long.
He really should have known.
What do you mean by that?
When Innos had to leave our world, he left humankind a part of his divine power. Only a few of us humans are allowed to use his power and to oversee justice in his name.
And what do you want to bring closer to me?
I can set you on the right path to recognize the essence of Innos and follow him.
Maybe later.
You are heartily welcome here anytime.
You should have known better.
I want to consecrate my sword.
If you are determined to take this step, you will first need a blade of tempered ore. With this, you should then retreat to the chapel and pray. During the prayer, and after a reasonable donation to our Lord Innos, you should ask Innos for his grace and guidance in the battle against evil. If Innos is well disposed towards you, your sword will be consecrated to our Lord from that moment on.
To ask me that.
Where can I get a magic blade?
Try in the city with Herod, the smith. He provides the paladins with specially tempered blades while they are on the island.
What kind of a donation?
Now, in view of the grace that is granted to you, a sum of 5,000 gold pieces is more than suitable. Of course, you are allowed to give more.
That's just what I said.
Can't rely on that.
For Innos, brother. If you have come to learn something about the consecration of the sword, then ask Marduk. May Innos illuminate your path.
ask me that.
I used to say that myself.
Do you really think?
How's it going?
I thank Innos that I can be here in the monastery.
No idea. You tell me.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
What are you planting here?
We're trying to grow healing plants that Master Neoras can use to brew potions.
So, how's it going?
Oh, thank you for your concern, Sir Paladin. I enjoy the work, and I am certain to be selected as a magician soon.
More, believe me.
Do you really think?
Been there, done
What are you doing here?
I must not speak with you. It's not looked on with favor if we talk to strangers.
That doesn't sound terribly happy.
Well, I mean, everything is just fine, really. Only, I don't want to complain.
Oh, come on, you can tell me.
And you really won't tell the magicians?
Do I look like I would?
All right. I have a problem with one of the novices. He's got a hold over me.
Come on, spit it out then.
Igaraz, that's the novice, found some of my private papers. He threatened to give them to the magicians if I don't do what he says.
What kind of documents are those?
That's, nobody's business. It's entirely my affair.
Come on, tell me.
They are, entirely normal documents. Nothing special.
I won't ask any further. What are you supposed to do for him?
I don't want to talk about it. In any case, it isn't pleasing to Innos. I don't want to think what would happen if it came out.
Maybe I can help you.
You would do that?
Well, that depends, of course.
Naturally, I'd pay you for that.
How much?
Of course, I don't have much money, but I could give you a spell scroll. I have a healing spell.
I'll see what I can do.
Honestly, it just has to work. It has to. So, you only need to find out where Igaraz keeps the stuff. Then you swipe it from him, and everything will be just fine.
Relax. You just continue for now. I'll see to the rest. Are you satisfied with your task?
It's all right, but I need to get back to work. Otherwise, I'll never get finished today. I don't want to work half the night again in order to finish my obligation and stay out of trouble.
Hey, what's wrong? Why are you bothering me? Can't you see I'm in the middle of an extremely complicated experiment?
I didn't mean to disturb you.
You already have. Well, what do you want?
Can I learn from you?
I shall instruct you in the secrets of alchemy.
Could you brew me a potion?
Do you doubt my abilities? I can brew any potion.
Fine.
Not so fast. Naturally, you must bring me the ingredients and pay a small fee for expenses, as well as for the materials.
How much do you ask?
For the brewing itself, I charge 10 gold pieces. Hey.
I'll never get this open without the right key. I'll never get this open without the right key.
It's no secret.
What room is this?
This is where they keep the holy relics of the monastery.
What relics?
Here rests the Hammer of Innos, along with the Shield of Fire.
These are the most important relics of Church of Innos, outside the capital of the realm.
Tell me about the shield.
The Shield of Fire was borne by Dominique in the battle on the Southern Isles. But the power of the shield is never to be wielded again. Therefore, we have nailed it to the wall.
Tell me about the hammer.
This is the sacred hammer of Innos. With this hammer, Saint Robar slew the stone sentinel. The Holy Scriptures say that the stone sentinel was invulnerable. He stood in battle like a tower, and the weapons of his enemies were smashed on his skin of stone. With the name of Innos on his lips, Robar hurled himself at the monster and crushed it with one mighty blow of his hammer.
Hey!
Can I be of assistance to you?
What's your task here?
My tasks are many and varied. Not only am I the steward, but I am also the treasurer. Moreover, I supervise the wine cellar, and I'm in control of the monastery's food supplies. So, if there's anything you need, you can always come to me and get it. For a modest contribution, that is.
I need a few things.
Ever gonna change that?
Only Innos decides what's right or wrong. That was no big deal.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
Nobody ever asks me. To ask me that.
He thinks it's as easy as that.
Who told you that?
It had to happen sooner or later.
I've got your documents.
Really? Oh, thanks. You've saved me. I don't know how to thank you.
Yeah, just calm down.
Are they really mine? Are you sure? Show me.
Here they are.
Yes, they're complete. Did you look at them?
Does that make a difference?
No, just as long as I have them back. Whew. Now I hope I can rest easy again.
That isn't true.
Anything's possible.
I've come from the old Valley of Mines.
What do you have to report?
The enemy has formed up there with an army of orcs and dragons.
We have already learned that from Milton. But what about the king's shipment of ore?
The mine they are digging for Garand in the valley cannot satisfy the demands of the king.
The days are becoming grayer, and the light of the sun is ever weaker.
I was attacked by men in black robes.
I know. Those are the Seekers, henchmen from the nether realms of Beliar. Beware of them. They will try to take possession of you. Once possessed, you will no longer be yourself. Only here in the monastery could you find help then, so be careful. Here, this rune will bring you directly back to the monastery if you need our help. Remember, we must offer resistance or we shall all be doomed.
I think I'm possessed. Can you heal me?
Not without a token of your respect for this monastery, my son. 300 gold coins.
Great. Here's the money.
Here, drink this. May the mercy of Enos be your salvation.
I have come to take the Eye of Enos.
I see that you have received an authorization from Lord Hagen himself to bear the Eye of Enos. I am afraid that I have to disappoint you. We have fallen victim to a treacherous plot of the enemy. The Eye of Enos has been violently taken from these sacred walls.
Who did this?
Evil is cunning and usually works in secret. Only rarely do you see it emerge to pursue its evil machinations in broad daylight. But these days, it's a different matter. The enemy now shows himself openly in the street, in every home and every public square. This can only mean that he no longer fears any adversary and is not going to shrink back from anything. One of our most faithful followers, a candidate for the high robe of the Magicians of Fire, has changed his allegiance unexpectedly, and in an alarmingly evil manner. Pedro. The enemy has taken possession of him, thus inflicting a terrible defeat upon us. Pedro has forced his way into our most sacred halls and stolen the eye. I fear that he simply spent too much time by himself, outside of the gates, and thus beyond the protective walls of the monastery, exposed to all lurking dangers.
Where did the thief flee to?
Pedro knocked down some of the other novices who tried to stop him and disappeared into the morning mist. Many novices have gone after him to bring the eye back to its place unharmed. If you want to catch up with them, you need to hurry before Pedro disappears out of your reach.
What about a little blessing? I could surely use it.
May Enos stand between you and harm on all the unholy paths you will have to walk.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
Dismissed. You know what you have to do.
One more thing. Some of the roadside shrines dedicated to Enos have been desecrated by the enemy. They have lost their magical consecration.
I see. And now?
It is up to you to purify these shrines so that the situation does not escalate. Take this holy water and trickle it on the base of the shrine. With the holy words of purification, the shrine will regain its old power. Korax can sell you a map on which our shrines are marked. Now, go and perform your tasks.
I need a few things.
Hey!
Do you know where Pedro is?
Do you think I'd be standing around here if I knew where the renegade was hiding? He must pay for his deeds. I hope we manage to get the eye back. You have to help us. Find him and bring back the Eye of Enos.
Have you seen a novice walk past?
Yeah, sure, he went, that away. He jumped into the water off the bridge and swam like a shark was after him.
What's going on here?
What do you mean?
You're the second fellow to rush past here like he's been stung by blood flies.
Who was the other guy?
He looked like one of those brainy novices from the monastery back there. You can say what you like, but somehow those guys aren't quite right in the head.
Where did the other one go?
He ran up that way like lightning.
I need to get going.
Hey, no problem.
Innos, grant me your aid and purify this shrine. Innos, grant me your aid and purify this shrine. Hey, you! Have you seen a novice pass by here?
A lot of peculiar figures passed by here today, including those two jokers up by the stone arch. A while ago, a novice from the Magicians of Fire was with them as well.
Who are you?
What is this? An interrogation? I have nothing to tell you, but you might want to talk to my buddy here. But be careful. He doesn't take to strangers.
What are you doing here?
What's it to you?
I'm looking for a novice.
That's very interesting. We're looking for someone too.
Who would that be?
You.
have destroyed the Eye of Innos so that it can never regain its power. We shall now demonstrate the futility of your attempt to challenge the Master.
Nothing there. I have found the Eye of Innos. It's broken.
But that cannot be. What happened?
Some really nasty customers had it. Anyway, I came too late. They were performing a strange incantation on a crescent-shaped ritual site up in those woods.
Innos be with us. They have desecrated our circle of the sun. Even in my worst nightmares, I could never have imagined they would possess this kind of power.
What can we do now?
The enemy has become very strong. Still, this ancient artifact meant a powerful threat to him. We must heal the eye and restore its old power. But time works against us. I cannot begin to imagine what is now going to become of us all. Without the protection of the eye, we are helplessly at the mercy of the enemy. Go to Vatras, the water mage in town. In this terrible situation, only he will know what is to be done. Take the eye to him, and hurry!
What is the Circle of the Sun?
Every year, all the magicians and novices of the monastery travel to this place at the time of the solstice to mark the beginning of a new cycle. The place is filled with the immeasurable power of the sun. Never have I entertained the slightest notion that its power could be reversed. And yet, that is what happened.
Damn it, what's up?
I don't believe this is gonna change.
Pyrokar sent me. The Eye of Innos is broken.
I know. I have already learned of it from some very upset novices. The Seekers have used the Fire Magician's Circle of the Sun to destroy the Eye. I would call that an inspired move by the enemy.
What will become of the Eye now?
We must join it back together, but that is no easy task, I fear. The setting is broken into 2 pieces. A skilled smith should be able to repair this. But that is not really the problem. It's rather the inlaid gem that worries me. It is dull and powerless. The enemy seems to have known exactly how to weaken it.
How can the gem get its power back?
I see only one way. A union of the 3 reigning divinities should achieve the desired effect. A well-prepared ritual of reversal in the place of its destruction will give the gem back its fire. However, the problem is that you must bring an earthly representative of each of the 3 gods to this place. Furthermore, a lot of swamp weed is required for this ritual. I estimate it should be at least 3 plants.
Where can I find this swamp weed?
I have heard about an old quack in the woods named Sagita. She supposedly sells such herbs, but you could also try your luck down at the harbor.
Who could those 3 earthly representatives of the gods be?
I shall represent the god Adonos myself. Pyrokar, the highest fire magician, would be the right person to represent the god Innos. But for Beliar, I cannot think of an appropriate candidate. It must be someone who commands black magic.
Black magic? What about Zardas?
That's it. That could work. But I ask myself, how you will bring all 3 of us together? I can just see Pyrokar's face when he hears that he must cooperate with Zardas.
Where can I find a smith capable of repairing the setting of the eye?
Ask around in the area for someone who knows how to repair jewelry.
News spreads fast in this city.
That's a good thing, too. The enemy won't be sleeping either.
I've got to go.
I shall also set out and prepare the ceremony at the Circle of the Sun. Send Zardas and Pyrokar there. And don't forget to bring the swamp weed. I'm counting on you. Listen, people. I am needed elsewhere. It won't take long. When I return, I shall tell you the rest of the story. May Adonos be with you.
Can you repair jewelry?
I'm a weaponsmith, not a goldsmith. You probably won't find anyone here in the city who can help you. People don't have much money in their pockets anymore, and nobody's gotten rich here in quite a while. Most of them are just glad if they have enough to eat.
Where can I find a goldsmith?
There's supposed to be a good smith with the mercenaries on Onar's farm. Maybe you should look there.
Can't rely on that.
You already know what I think.
I've talked to Vatras.
Ah, good. Where is he?
He's preparing a ritual at the Circle of the Sun in order to heal the Eye of Innos.
If that is true, then maybe there is hope after all.
Vatras wants Zardas and you to help him with that.
What? Zardas will be there too? You cannot be serious.
Hey, this wasn't my decision. Vatras insists.
It is always that Zardas. I am tired of it. Things could hardly get any worse. So how do I know that Zardas is not in league with the enemy? I cannot trust Zardas, no matter how much we may need him. I am sorry, but I cannot help Vatras under these circumstances.
It can't be done without you. Vatras wouldn't be able to perform the ritual otherwise. You'll have to trust Zardas.
There is nothing that I have to do, you hear? I do not have the slightest proof that Zardas is not working against us. I cannot do this.
What if I could bring you some proof?
That is impossible, I fear. It would really have to impress me. As far as Zardas is concerned, I have my doubts whether he can still impress me at all.
Hey! The Eye of Innos has been destroyed.
What are you saying? Destroyed?
I found it up in the northern forests. Unfortunately, I've only been able to salvage its fragments.
That was our only chance to stand up to those dragons, and it's gone. We have failed.
What now?
This is a painful blow. We have to reorient ourselves. I shall retreat and ponder the matter. In the meantime, you should go to town and talk to Vatras, the water mage. I could imagine that maybe he knows what's to be done.
Vatras sent me to you.
That's good. What did he say?
He said something about a reversal ritual at the Circle of the Sun?
That old devil. I think I know what he's up to. You have come to summon me to him.
Looks like it. When will you set out?
I must not keep Vatras waiting. I shall be on my way immediately. You must fulfill your tasks and then join me again.
Wait a minute. Pyrakar refuses to show up for the ritual. First, he wants proof that he can trust you.
Ah, really? Pyrakar. How interesting. That old geezer is getting to be a nuisance. But I think I've got something for you that'll be useful. Back when I left the Order of the Fire Magicians, I took a few things with me from the monastery. I didn't want a troop of paladins or fire magicians to turn my tower upside down at some point and find all those things. So I hid them in safe places where the magicians would certainly never look for them.
And where?
Some of them lie locked in a chest on Sekob's farm.
You trust that Sekob?
No, but he can be bought and ask no awkward questions. Also, the chest is locked. Here's the key. There's a very old book among those things. When Pyrakar sees that book, he'll know it came from me. It is of no further use to me, so I guess it can at least fulfill this purpose.
Is the reversal ritual going to work?
I cannot be sure. That depends on what exactly Vatras is going to do.
How's the situation?
Malik has disappeared and taken everything and everybody who would work for me with him. He said he was headed for the mountains. He couldn't stand it here anymore. The hordes of monsters pouring out of the pass every day into the high pastures are really getting to me. If at least I had a few helpers or mercenaries. There was even one who was willing to work for me. Changed his mind, though. I think his name was Wolf.
It'll be all right.
Without Malik, nothing gets done around here anymore. If something doesn't happen soon, I'll have to give up my farm. Hopefully he'll come back soon.
Inos, grant me your aid and purify this shrine.
I used to say that myself.
I can't help it.
I've got no time for things like that.
Mustn't believe everything you hear.